We are live from Last Out Media Studios in Feasterville / Trevose. We are Combat Misfits. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the show. We have a lot of action on tap this tonight, as well as this weekend. We are so pumped to talk about a lot of combat sports going on around the world. But first, let me introduce my co-host, Chris Thedick.
What's going on, guys?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Man, it feels good, man.
And a special happy birthday shout out to my producer, Vinny Quinn.
Oh, baby, the birthday shout out. I am honored. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Everybody watching out, please give Vinny Quinn some birthday love, you know?
Yeah.
You know, let's feel it, you know what I'm saying? So, we've got a lot of action this weekend, and it kicks off tonight with Professional Fighters League live on ESPN at 8 p.m., starring the undefeated Kayla Harrison, going for $1 million, going for the PFL Women's Lightweight Championship for a second time.
Yep.
And also on the verge of free agency, possibly.
Well, this is her last fight.
Yeah, I mean, unless she re-signs. But we've got so much action to get into. We've got UFC pay-per-view early in the morning on Saturday. We've got Dylan White versus Otto Wallen, the possibility for the mandatory challenger for Tyson Fury, live Saturday night on DAZN. And, I mean, we've just got a lot of rumors. I just got notes upon notes, you know, to talk about for this next hour. So if you guys are in the chat watching, join the conversation. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. We're live on YouTube. Hit the bell for all notifications so you're aware when we go live. And just show us that love, you know. I appreciate all those that have subscribed, that have commented into the show. You know, please keep on doing that. We really appreciate that. So we're going to start off today with none other than who, you know, on this big fight week, you know, with all these pay-per-views and big fights popping up, we've still got Jake Paul stealing the headline somehow. How, Chris?
Well, Jake Paul, man, he came out publicly. I'm not fighting Tommy Fury. I'm not ready. What does that tell you? If someone's coming out saying, hey, I'm not ready to fight a boxer, what does that tell you?
It means he's bitching. I don't know. I don't really know. All I know is he came out in an interview. He basically said, I'm not ready to have my 5th fight with a 7-0 fighter. So he's calling out Javier Mendez and Hector Lopez.
Yeah.
So Hector was Gervonta Tank Davis's 8th opponent, came in 0-0, and Hector Lopez was also an MMA fighter who was 2-0.
Right.
What the freak? Can we get away from the MMA fighters?
He don't want to. He
like-
likes fighting the MMA fighters. Well, too, recent news is, too, that is Josh Thompson came out and says he's fighting Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz confirmed. I'm fighting Jake Paul.
So there's a lot of potential opponents for Jake Paul.
Yeah, but I wonder, so if Nate can't fight on his contract any competing fighting cause, right? Dana White's not going to let him. So he wants to get out of that contract ASAP and then fight Jake Paul right after. That's what it sounds like. He wants to out of that contract so he can fight Jake Paul and make bank.
I'm a little worried that Dana White's going to try and screw Nate Diaz royally. When you're locked in that contract, there ain't no getting out, man, unless you finish that contract. You think
he's gonna do that to one of his prize fighters?
He don't give a shit.
No,
Dana don't give a shit.
No, everyone's acting like Dana White's this monster. He doesn't give a shit.
He controls their contracts. It's kind of like it's really scary because when you think about it, like these guys get in the octagon. And they get punched in the face for a living. But then at the end of the day, Dana's controlling how this shit's ran, And it's basically in Dana White's ball court as long as there's still fights on these guys' contracts. There is no... I don't see Nate Diaz... Okay. In the contracts of these UFC fighters, there are non-competes. Right. There is no way he is going to allow, unless with Dana White's permission, and I don't see it happening, going to another promotion, especially boxing. Boxing and Dana White have never really been on the same page.
That's not true.
Especially premier boxing champions, they've never really been on the same page,
that's
man.
That's not true. I don't believe that for a second.
Dana
White has been a pure boxer promoter for the majority of his life.
His own promoting. He does his own promoting the way he wants to do it.
No.
The only boxing fight he's ever really allowed is Floyd Mayweather.
No. I'm talking about in his past. I'm talking about in his past. Before UFC, he was a boxer and promoter and loved boxing to the day he dies.
Exactly.
He still loves boxing more than UFC. He's come out publicly. He loves boxing more than UFC, and it's always been that way. So the thing is, for everyone to say that he doesn't really give a shit about boxing, it's false.
A lot of these boxing promoters, he doesn't. They bump heads, man. A lot of these boxing
they try
promoters
to undercut him. He's not an idiot. They try to undercut him a lot,
and that's what I'm saying. So it's really hard for him to negotiate with these other guys when there's so much bumping of the heads. I don't see.
I can see that, but everyone has to understand too is Mayweather and McGregor happened. Why? Because
it's Mayweather Promotions. It's Mayweather's.
He got paid.
Yeah.
Everyone got paid.
Yeah.
Even McGregor got paid. Mayweather, UFC, Showtime, they all got paid.
But Nate doesn't. Nate wants out, bro. Nate wants out.
Yeah.
And even Dana White said it. He's really he's 90% positive Nate Diaz is not going to re-sign.
And he's right. So my thing is, what do you think is Dana White holding Nate back? I don't think so. I think no one wants to fight Nate. Nate called out 10 different fighters and no one called up.
No.
So it's not Dana and it's not Nate. It's the other guys who don't want to fight Nate.
I get it. But Nate Diaz is not getting out of this easy, man. It's just not happening. He's going to have to fight that last fight out. And I'm telling you, I don't know Dana White personally, but I know his behind-the-scenes bullshit actions that he does, and he's going to hold that contract over his head probably
Until he fights.
until the beginning of next year, because the cards are filled. I don't see him getting in.
I don't think it's him per se, like just robbing Nate. It's not.
No,
It's
no.
not Nate robbing.
No.
Dana's robbing Nate. Nate called out 10 different fighters to fight to get out of the contract. No one called up. No one's like, "Yep, I'll take that." Everyone's backing out. Say, "Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, I got COVID. All this other goofy shit." No one wants to fight Nate. That's the problem. No one wants to fight Nate. So Dana, his hands are tied. I get what everyone says, like Nate's Dana's a piece of shit, but no one called the answer. No one's called up.
So what does this mean for Jake Paul, right? So Jake Paul was supposed to fight December 18th against Tommy Fury. What's it to make now? Is he still going to be fighting December 18th? Is he going to be fighting an MMA fighter? Is he going to go back to his old ways? Is he going to eventually fight a boxer? That's what I want. That's what we all want. We want him to prove himself.
He's not going to fight no boxer yet. He said it publicly. I'm not going to fight Tommy Fury.
Because these guys, Hector Lopez and Javier Mendez,
They'll both get worked.
it's nothing to look forward to.
I think-
A Tommy Fury fight, I was on the edge of my seat, as well as the people watching. I was on they had to have been on the edge of their seat waiting, anticipating
Well,
this
yeah,
fight.
I think everyone was excited to see Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul, but it's just not happening. I think I would love to see him fight Nate Diaz. I would love that. I honestly would.
So you think he's trying to
I think he's waiting.
you think he's trying to fight with a soft record? You think he's trying to hold on?
I think he's holding on for Nate. I think he's going to wait it out for Nate. He's not going to call nobody out or sign any paperwork until Nate says, "I'm free, let's banging."
I would love to see that fight. Don't
I
get
would
me
too.
wrong. I just know Dana White and his how he holds on to these guys' contracts and likes to play Dana White's games. Like it's not gonna work in Nate Diaz's favor.
What I would like to see is Tommy Fury's reaction on Jake Paul saying he's not ready for Tommy. I would like to see his reaction or hear Tommy's reaction because I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. Did you?
No.
I'd like to see what Tommy says. "Oh, you're a chicken. You don't want to fight the best of the best," or something like that. I would like to see Tommy Fury's response. Clap back. Honestly.
I'm pretty sure Tommy Fury is going to be really pissed if he doesn't sign that contract.
He's not going to.
We're going to have to see. Time will tell. But we have events this week. We have events tonight. We have PFL Live on ESPN. I'm looking forward to 2 fights on this card. The rest of them, I don't give a shit about. I look forward to Kayla Harrison in the main event.
Yep.
And I look, I know who Kayla Harrison is. I've been following her for a while and her undefeated dominance. And I don't think this chick stands any chance against her. Eventually I see Kayla Harrison. I don't know. I know this is her last fight on her contract. PFL has reached out and basically in interviews this week and basically said, like, we're trying to hold on to her. And they know. She's the
saying no.
She's the cash cow, man. Like, she is the cash cow. And Taylor Guardado, who she's facing tonight, is 3-1. Now, when you look at these 2 records, 11-0 for Kayla Harrison and 3-1 for Taylor Guardado, it doesn't mesh, man.
Because there's no one that can keep up with Kayla's weight. Because being lightweight is what?
155, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Big
so,
chick.
Yeah, and that's what we've mentioned in the past. Like, if she were to ever face Amanda Nunes, it would have to be, I don't know, maybe Kayla Harrison can get to 145.
Or it'd be a catch weight.
But Kayla Harrison probably cuts weight to get to 155.
Correct.
So is she cutting 30, 40 pounds to eventually possibly maybe fight Amanda Nunes?
Well, if anything, it would probably be a catch weight. Is that don't meet at 150. So 155, loses 5 more. Have Amanda Nunes put on 5 more. Be a catch weight 150.
Yeah. We're expecting tonight Kayla Harrison showing who Kayla Harrison is. And she's very favorably dominant to win this fight. Like there's not a shot for Taylor Guardado. let's be real. I just want to see what she's brought new to the game. I want to see if she doesn't need to take this chick down to the ground, and she can just use her striking and knock her out. And I would be on the edge of my seat to see that. I'm looking forward to that fight. And then we also have another fight on the heels of PFL tonight. We have Clarissa Shields versus Abigail Montez. Now, if you don't know who Clarissa Shields is and you're tuning into this fight, you're crazy. Clarissa Shields is one of the best women's boxers in the world.
Yep.
And if you're looking at her record tonight for PFL and she's 1-0, you would be like, oh, she's got to be some beginner. She is beginner in mixed martial arts, but she's a world-class champion in boxing. And she's no joke. Don't take her lightly. I'm telling you.
Yep.
She has her hands in everything right now. She is supposed to be in a movie later this month. She is got a boxing fight later this year in December. She's back and forth, mixed martial arts, and boxing, mixed martial arts, boxing. She's got her hands literally in everything. And it's extremely impressive to watch her develop as a mixed martial artist. I really look forward to her fight as well. And that's pretty much it, for PFL. The rest of them, not really interested in these fights. If you have ESPN Plus, tune in, watch that card. That's really the only ones I can really sell to you guys. That's the only fights that really interest me. They are the finals. There's the welterweight finals. There's the heavyweight finals. They've been in tournaments all this year, to develop these guys to get to these fights that are live tonight. But I'm sorry, there's only 2 fights on the card that interest me, and that's all that's really going to sell me tonight, But there is MMA action live this Wednesday. What are your thoughts on Kayla Harrison? Chris?
I think she's just ready for the UFC. That's why she's not signing a contract, because she's going to go to the UFC. Dana White wants her. He said he's interested.
I see her doing nothing else other than winning $1 million tonight, which she rightfully deserves. Mm-hmm. I see her going 12-0 at the end of her contract. I don't really see her re-signing. I think she wants more. I don't know what she's getting paid in PFL. I don't know.
Probably
but
nothing really great.
Tonight will be her biggest payday ever if she wins.
The thing is the PFL, it's boring for her. You could just see it, how she fights. It's boring. It's too easy. She wants competition. And I'm pretty sure after her fight tonight, depending on how it goes, Dana White is definitely watching this fight. And he's going to give her a call, say, hey, you ready for the UFC?
Yeah.
And fight someone. I can definitely see, because if Nunes wins against Juliana Penne, which she pretty much will, in my opinion, you're going to get someone, Kayla Harris from a different promotion to fight Nunes and see who would win. It's the only shot for Nunes. Nunes ran down that whole division countless times. It's time for Kayla Harrison to fight Tommy Fury. Kayla Harrison to fight Nunes.
And the AT&T president of the mixed martial arts camp that Amanda Nunes fights at basically came out and said, we are trying to push that fight as far away as possible. I don't think them two are going to fight. I think that's the fight to ultimately make, but I don't know. I mean,
why do you say you don't know?
Why
wouldn't that happen?
I just don't know how much longer Amanda Nunes is going to be in the game, and we've said this time and time again. And if Kayla Harrison comes into the UFC, she gets signed, right? Is she going to get it immediately thrown to Amanda Nunes, or is she going to have to work to that spot with a 12-0 record?
Thrown right into her. That's what they did with Demetrius Johnson. When he ran down the whole division, remember there's a whole Ultimate Fighter full of champions from all these promotions that try to fight him, and he still whooped their asses.
Yeah.
So the same thing with Nunes. They're going to have to get someone from a different promotion, just throw her to the wolves, say, hey, you're fighting Nunes, boom, 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 and figure it out.
We're going to have to see, So if you guys are watching, tune in tonight, live ESPN. There's MMA on tonight. Do not sleep on these fights, guys. I know there's other sports on tonight. Put that shit to the side and watch Kayla Harrison be dominant be dominant where she belongs. She is the future of women's MMA. I highly believe that this is the new future for women's MMA. There's nothing more to look forward to, in my opinion, tonight than Kayla Harrison completing her dominancy and moving on, in my belief, to the UFC. Like you said, Dana White's probably going to give her a call. Boom. Yep. You want in? It's time. You really want to prove yourself as the best woman's lightweight. Now, there is no lightweight division in UFC, so it gets a little sketchy for her. We're going to have to see if she's able to get to those featherweight division and the lightweight division or the bantamweight division in UFC. We're going to have to see, you know. Can she cut to 135? Probably not. That's 30, 40 pounds. Can she cut to featherweight? Looks more believable.
It depends what her natural weight is. It depends.
Yeah, and I don't truly know. You know, I know she's able to make that 155, but, I mean, she is a pretty dominant lightweight. Looks like a lightweight. Doesn't really look like a featherweight, in my opinion. You know, but we'll have to see, you know, what her future holds. The sky is the freaking limit for that woman. And I've said it, keep your eyes on Kayla Harrison because she is the future of women's MMA. You know, she's young. I think she's only 26 or 27.
Yeah, she's young.
She's young to be where she is. And the sky's the limit for her, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's live tonight. Tune in. We've got the UFC 267 live Saturday, early morning for us in the Eastern time.
Feels good to be there watching it in the morning, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, in my opinion, the ones who are going to benefit from this pay-per-view the most is the UK. You know, they don't have to stay up till 4, 5:30 in the morning to watch the pay-per-view.
Nope.
They get to watch it at a reasonable time.
Is that night?
It's at night for them, yeah,
right,
and it's in the afternoon for us, morning in the Pacific time. So, you know, the people in California, they get to watch it with their breakfast, and we get to watch it with our lunch / early dinner, or, you know, whatever floats your boat. But I'm pumped, man. This card is stacked, and if you are a casual MMA fan, you need to step your game up because these next 2 pay-per-views are what you need to be watching. You know, back-to-back, 2 weeks in a row, stacked cards. We've got UFC 267 live in Abu Dhabi, you know. Hell of a time zone difference, you know. But we're going to see, you know, where Jan Blachowicz really stands. You know, this may be Glover Teixeira's last chance at a championship. Now,
his last fight, period.
You came at me Sunday and said, not a shot does Glover Teixeira stand.
Nope.
Not a shot does Glover Teixeira stand. I don't believe in that. You know, I think, and a happy birthday to Glover Teixeira because he turns 42 tomorrow, the day before the weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. And look, everything's set up for Glover Teixeira to be the upset man. You know, everything is set up for him to potentially steal this belt right out of Jan Blachowicz' hands.
No chance.
Please, if you're watching, please chime in. Tell us what you think of the UFC 267 main event this Saturday. Who you got? Because we're going to throw some predictions right at you. And I'm going to see, you know, we're probably going to have a lot of disagreements, me and Chris.
Probably.
It's grown on us, you know. You know, in the beginning of this podcast, we were kind of on board together. And now Chris likes to throw my freaking brain for a wrench and try and give me the massive headache that I don't want, you know. But we're gonna see. So you're saying Jan Blachowicz, right?
100%. Third round TKO.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Mark it down for your betting.
Okay. Look, Glover Teixeira, you know, he's been on a run, man. He's
been in the fight game for a long time too. So
and he's had a lot of downs, but lately he's pulled a lot of wins together, a lot of big name wins.
Who?
He last beat Thiago Santos, right?
Right.
Now he hasn't fought in almost a year, I think. This gets a little sketchy for Glover. You know, he hasn't fought since November 7th, 2020. Thiago Santos, right? Subbed him in round number 3. Anthony Smith, he beat TKO round 5. Nikita Krylov, he beat him by decision. Blah.
Look, all last rounds.
Look, I know. Looking at both of these records, I've looked at both of these records, and Jan Blachowicz has fought the tougher competition. He's fought Israel Adesanya. You know, Israel Adesanya came up and showed him, hey, boy, get back down to middleweight. You don't belong here.
Exactly.
You don't belong here. Dominic Reyes, he fought.
Smashed them.
Corey Anderson, who's now potentially for a title shot in definitely getting a title shot in Bellator now.
Right, he beat him so bad he went out of a different promotion.
Yeah, well.
Beat him so bad he went to a different promotion.
No, Corey Anderson beat him.
Beat who?
No, wait. Corey Anderson. No, he beat Corey Anderson. Yes.
Right.
Let me stand corrected. Yes. So, yeah, he beat him round 1, right?
Embarrassed him.
Jacare Souza, Luke Rockhold. He also beat Thiago Santos back in 2019. So he's beaten a lot of the fighters that Glover Teixeira has beaten, you know? He beat Nikita Krylov. He beat Jimmy Manuwa.
Yeah, but Blachowicz beat them convincingly.
He has a lot of finishes on his record.
Glover took to the last round to do a damn thing to them.
Look at the age difference, sir. Look at the freaking age difference.
Proves my point. You really believe Glover?
So you're not down for the underdog at all in this fight?
No, I'm being realistic. Teixeira doesn't stand a chance against Blachowicz.
See, I see different. I love the underdogs, man.
You can love a Mighty Duck story all you want, pal. It doesn't stand a chance in a fight game.
Look, man, give me a shot, bro. Believe in this guy. What do I got to do?
He's old as dirt. He's gonna get
old as
clean.
dirt. Oh my God, he has proven himself lately.
To who?
At least to me.
The only guy.
Most UFC hardcore fans, they kind of like the underdog story.
Correct.
Coming from behind, overcoming adversity, getting back to the title shot. Look, he fought John Jones back in 2014, right?
Got worked.
He has 2 losses since then against Anthony Rumble Johnson,
right,
and Corey Anderson, right? But so he's come from behind, and he does have a lot of wins, loss, but he has proven himself to get into this title shot, right?
No.
You don't believe he's proven himself to get back to this spot?
Nope.
This is his last shot. Last shot.
Nope. I think he didn't get worked.
All right. Let me ask you this. So Jan Blachowicz wins, right? Who do you think is next for Jan Blachowicz?
Probably Anthony Smith.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Anthony Smith has proven himself lately.
Anthony Smith has to win another fight or 2 before he sees Blachowicz. I think that's where we're at. Unless John Jones comes back, which I don't see happening.
John Jones is not coming back.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't think, even if he does come back, I don't think he's coming back to light heavyweight. I think those days are potentially over for him, as well as we may never see him fight again. And speaking of John Jones, he dropped in the pound-for-pound rankings this week. Monday, they came out with the new rankings. He's dropped down 2 spots. He's now, I think, in the 3rd or 4th spot.
3rd.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, and he hasn't fought since last year. You know, I think his last fight was against Dominic Reyes?
That was
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Which is rightfully so. Like if you're not fighting, man, you can't be on the top of the board. If you're not fighting, you can't be on top.
He's not in the light heavyweight rankings at all. They took him out because I guess he was potentially supposed to go up to heavyweight, and then all this chaos started in his personal life. I don't freaking know, but that makes sense that Anthony Smith would be next for Jan Blachowicz. But hey, man, Glover Teixeira's got a shot, man. If you don't think this dude's not walking around with some power at 42 years old, You've got to be.
Put a bet on it.
You got to be eating marbles, bro.
Put a bet. If you're that confident, put a bet. Put a bet
Put
down.
a bet? Put a bet of
down.
what?
Whatever you want to bet. Put a bet down. If you're confident Glover Teixeira like you say you are, hyping him up on all that, you put a bet down.
Put a bet down of what, $5?
If that's what you're willing to bet, put a bet down.
All right, I'll bet you $5 that Glover Teixeira wins. It's a light bet, guys, for all you watching out. But look, man.
That shows how much confidence he has in Glover. That's how much confidence he has.
No, I mean, he is 42 years old. It is sketchy.
But you're talking.
But
like
I
he
love
has a
the
shot.
underdog story. I love it, man. I
understand.
love to see guys come in, 42 years old, probably last fight ever. He probably will retire if he does lose. I don't see
He's
him.
going to leave his gloves in the middle of the octagon after round 3 getting banged out.
Damn, you ain't giving him a damn shot.
He don't
You don't
stand
think
a
this
chance.
will be a back and forth war?
No. Here, I'll answer me this question, right? Do you think Glover Teixeira has a chance of fighting Adesanya?
Oh, no, not a shot. They're different.
Okay.
Wait. They're different divisions, though. Here, you
No,
speak.
just say Adesanya went up to light heavyweight. You think Glover has a shot?
I don't know. Glover Teixeira is a bigger guy than Israel Adesanya, but Israel Adesanya has significantly better striking than Glover Teixeira.
Well, just think of it this way. Blachowicz embarrassed Adesanya. Adesanya didn't even stand a chance against Blachowicz.
So if you were going to make a prediction on this main event this weekend, how's it ending? How's it ending?
Third round, TKO by punches.
Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
I'm going Glover Teixeira submits him in the third round. I'm thinking Glover Teixeira, his only shot, I don't see him knocking him out. I would be highly surprised. I mean, Glover Teixeira has power, but
He does.
yeah, Jan Blachowicz' Polish power is no freaking joke, man. Bless you. Jan Blachowicz' Polish power is no joke. So Glover Teixeira, I believe, he will submit him in the third round. Possibly rear naked choke. I don't see him knocking him out. So we'll have to see, you know.
It's a long stretch.
So the pay-per-view starts at 2 p.m. on Saturday. It's an early card, man. It's perfect for me. I still get to enjoy the end of the night and get pumped up for the next pay-per-view, which is November 6th. You know, it's a good card, man. It's really stacked card. You know, I look forward to it. So also on UFC 267, we have, let's see, we have Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen stepping in. There's been a lot of trash talk this week with Peter Yan.
And Corey.
Yeah, because Peter Yan in his media scrum kind of thing where they go and train, basically pulled off a fake illegal knee against whoever he was, just showing what.
Yeah, sparring.
Whoever he was sparring with. He's kind of putting it in the face of Aljamain Sterling, like, hey, bro, you're a little bitch. You ain't show up to this fight. You keep complaining about your neck, but you're holding that title shot. You're holding that belt hostage, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not right. Defend the belt. So now they got an interim title fight. Corey Sandhagen comes in. His last loss is against TJ Dillashaw. So he's coming into this title shot on a loss.
Right.
And we're going to have to see. Peter Yan's been dominant, bro. He's no joke.
Right.
No joke at all, man. If I had to predict, I think Peter Yan's winning this fight. Who do you think is winning that fight? As well as the fans, tune in, chime in if you can.
I like Peter Yan in this fight, but because he's so stuck up on Sterling, I think maybe Corey Sandhagen's gonna pull an upset.
Oh, so you're down with the underdog in that situation, right?
Well, you have to think.
Oh my God,
You have to
Corey.
think. You have to think though. Peter Yan's concentrating on Sterling 100%.
he is, yeah.
And he's not looking at Corey Sandhagen as an opponent. He's overlooking him. And when you overlook an opponent, usually they sneak you, and that's all over. So that's why I say Corey might have a good chance of beating Peter Yan. A real good chance.
It would really throw the bantamweight division for a loop, man. So Peter Yan, obviously he was disqualified with the knee.
Yep. He was down. Sterling was gonna lose that.
Sterling was going to lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was gonna lose.
So, Aljamain Sterling, has won the belt, has run and hid for a while, You know, they've tried to set this match up again and again and again and again. And it hasn't worked, you know? Hasn't freaking worked. So now Peter Yan steps in. I think he'll take this interim title shot. I believe when you look at both resumes, yes, Corey Sandhagen is no joke. He's nobody to sleep on. But Peter Yan has beaten Jose Aldo, Uriah Faber, Jimmy Rivera, John Dodson. The list goes on of how dominant this dude has been, you know, climbing up the ranks since he's come into the UFC. Corey Sandhagen is no joke as well. He's just coming off a loss against the former bantamweight GOAT, as in my opinion. You know, TJ Dillashaw is no joke, man. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people give him a bad rap, as well as I sort of give him a bad rap. Once you cheat it in the past, I'm kind of like, how much have you really, how many times have you cheated in your career, you know? What does that say about your record? I don't know, you know? But TJ Dillashaw has only fought one time. And we're going to have to see, basically, you know, who's going to be the interim champion. I really hate when they throw these belts into an interim spot. But what are you going to do, you know? In my opinion, if I'm Dana White, strip Aljamain Sterling. What the fuck? He hasn't even defended the belt one time. You're holding the division hostage. You're holding the belt hostage. And Peter Yan, in my opinion, he's still the champion. Yes, he threw an illegal knee. Look, I get it. It is what it is, man. We still haven't got that fight ran back. Aljamain keeps pulling out of these fights. Strip the dude. It is what it is, you know? I don't really care, you know? But in my opinion, I think Peter Yan will win this fight. I think he will, you know, prove to everybody that he is the rightful champion. And Aljamain's just a little bitch, you know? Just a running little bitch, you know? Running from the belt.
I just feel as if, like, Peter Yan has been, like, trying to pull Sterling to fight him, and Sterling wants no parts of it. So I think he's waiting for what happened between this fight with Corey Sandhagen and Peter Yan. And if Peter Yan loses, Sterling will defend the belt.
You think so?
I think he's just dodging Peter Yan because he was just getting outworked. He was just no competition.
I think because he's supposed to have neck injury, you know, later on. Right. In the either next year. He's supposed to be ready by mid next year. I don't give a shit. The point is I don't see him holding on to that belt and trying to fight Peter Yan. I think potentially he's gonna come up with an excuse as to, I can never fight again. My neck. And that's it.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. I just think he doesn't want to fight Peter Yan.
I think he'll relinquish the belt. I think he will. I don't see him ever defending it.
Why?
I think
because of his neck.
I don't know. I mean, usually when you're having neck injury, when you're having neck issues, right, or he's complaining about a neck issue, I don't know if it has anything to do with this knee, you know, the knee that he suffered from Peter Yan. I don't freaking know. I don't know if he's crying, whatever. The point is I don't see him defending it. I think he's potentially hoping Peter Yan loses. And then maybe he'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll fight Corey Sandhagen. Why not, you know? I don't fucking know. But I like you said, I think he's afraid to fight Peter Yan. I think
that's exactly what it is. He's afraid to fight Peter Yan, and he doesn't want to get beat by him, so he's going to wait for Corey Sandhagen to pull an upset to beat Peter Yan, so then he'll fight Corey Sandhagen.
Well, he has also lost in the past to Corey Sandhagen. You know, he lost to June 6, 2020 to Aljamain, So, no, Corey Sandhagen lost to Aljamain Sterling. So maybe Aljamain Sterling stands a chance, you know?
That's what he wants. He wants to fight Corey again because he thought he can beat him, which he did beat him. And he don't want to fight Peter Yan because he knows he would lose.
He will lose.
He'll lose the title. Right.
Yeah, so I don't know, you know. I think it's definitely a fight. Don't sleep on that fight. Don't sleep on that co-main event. You know, it's definitely, you know, something to keep your eye on. And then we have Islam Makhachev. What else do you say about him? He's fighting Dan Hooker on this card.
Yep.
Dan Hooker, like we've mentioned, you know, applaud to him. I applaud for him to take this fight. Rafael Dos Santos pulled out of this fight against Islam Makhachev. And what do you know? Dan Hooker's like, I'll stay for the rest of the year, even though there's, a lockdown in my country and I can't go back home for the holidays and
For a
Christmas.
year.
Yeah. So he can't go back until at least 2022, because of all these COVID restrictions and everything. So he stayed in America. He's going to fight. Well, he's going to fight in Abu Dhabi, against Islam Makhachev. I think he's bit off more than he could chew with this guy.
I agree.
It is Habib's protege.
Yep.
And like we mentioned Sunday, Habib is a phenomenal coach. And I believe he will be by Islam Makhachev's side. In his corner. Who do you see fight? Who do you see winning this fight?
Makhachev. I think he's going to be dominant. I think Dan Hooker doesn't stand a chance, unfortunately. I really like Dan Hooker. I would hope for him to win, but I don't think he's winning this one.
No.
I think Makhachev is just going to probably sub him. I think it's going to be a submission, probably second or maybe third round. First round being a stretch, but second or third.
So Islam Makhachev, right, has not lost in 6 years, right? His last loss, we're talking about UFC 267 this weekend. His last loss was UFC 192. All them pay-per-views ago, man, against Adriano Martins, who doesn't even fight no more, hasn't fought since 2017, hasn't fought in a long time. But yeah, that's Islam Makhachev's last defeat, and it came by TKO. Yep. In the first round, Islam has improved
dramatically.
Yeah.
He has improved dramatically with his stand-up and his wrestling. He's just a way better fighter than he was when he fought Martinez.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think Dan Hooker stands not one chance. I would like I said before, I'm all for the underdogs. However, I believe Islam Makhachev is going to run through this dude. I see a finish. I see a submission by the second round. I'm going with the second round. I don't think he's going to play with Dan Hooker's striking at all. I don't think he's going to stand with him. I think he's going to go in there, play his ground game, and submit him. What do you think is going to happen?
I think the same thing. I think it's going to be a submission, second or third round.
Yeah. I mean, don't sleep on Islam Makhachev's punching power. He does. He does have a few finishes, but mostly it's that submission game. It's that ground game. He takes these guys down, he makes them feel his weight, and he just kind of suffocates them into submitting. Yeah. I mean, there's not a chance that most of these guys are going to take. And Islam Makhachev has had a bad rap because he hasn't really been so active, but I believe the reality is these guys are dodging him. Nobody wants to fight this dude. So it shows how good of a man Dan Hooker is to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to step in, on what I think he fought last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Maybe possibly even less than that. I'd have to check the cards. But, I mean, for you to step in on such short notice against somebody that everybody's dodging, and in my opinion, possibly could be the next lightweight champion in the future. I mean, he still has some tweaking to do, and I don't think there's much to tweak. I mean, if he continues to be as dominant as like Habib was, the sky's the limit for him. I mean, he only has, one loss on his record. So, I mean, I applaud him, I mean, him, Usman Nurmagomedov, like all these guys that come from Habib's camp, man, they're going to be just too much of a problem for mixed. And like you said, and we'll take it back to what you said on Sunday. Like, I think they're going to start transitioning. They're going to bring in a new MMA game into this,
Well, not per se game. I think it's just a different type of skill sets, like wrestling, like the old American wrestling, the Greco wrestling. It's gonna be now like the Dagestan wrestling. I think that's what it's gonna be.
I mean, if it's true and they all fucking come up wrestling bears, I mean, that is scary as shit. For anybody who's gonna fight any of these guys.
I think that's exactly what it's gonna be, Dagestan wrestling. I don't think it's going to be Greco wrestling or American wrestling. It's going to be Dagestan wrestling. Because those boys out there, man, their wrestling game is just on a whole nother level. Just a whole different level. They just out-wrestle Olympic wrestlers, all that. It's just a different type of wrestling altogether.
So, I mean, the card is stacked. You know, we have, you know, other guys on there, Islam, Volkov. But these final 3 fights, that's what's capturing my attention. You know, Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Islam Makhachev, Dan Hooker. There's other fighters on the card as well. There's Alexander Volkov. There's Amanda Ribas. There's Ricardo Ramos. I mean, there's a lot of freaking fighters on this card. I'm never going to be able to pronounce their names. They're long as shit. But let's be real. We also have Shamil Gamzatov, who's 14-0. So we do have some undefeated fighters on here. We have Benoit Saint-Denis. That fighter's 8-0. We have a lot of fights that you probably shouldn't sleep on in the prelims, you know, and I look forward to that as well. I mean, it's a stacked card, you know. And then later in the night, we've got Dylan White versus Otto Wallen.
Yep.
Oh my freaking God. I slept on this fight. I'll admit it. I forgot that it was this weekend. And then I looked at I looked up the card this weekend and I was like, oh, snap. This is the mandatory challenging spot for Tyson Fury. I mean, what the heck? I don't know how to wrap my head around that one of these guys is going to wind up fighting Tyson Fury.
Yep.
And I also learned, a little bit off topic here, that Tyson Fury reached out to Anthony Joshua and said, if you want my help and you want my training for, who's the fighter he's fighting?
Usyk.
Yeah, Usyk, Alexander Usyk. If you want my help training for him, I'm available. And I think Anthony Joshua may actually take him up on his own. Yeah, he reached out and was like, you can come over, you can come spar with me.
He's not going to.
Do you think that's a ploy to kind of start learning?
No, it's disrespectful if that's what it is.
You think so? Yeah. You don't think there's any UK friendlyship with friend?
No, stop. You're competing. Like, so I think Tyson Fury is actually being genuine. But if you're a fighter, you take that as disrespectful. You're saying what? I'm fucking trash? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me I'm trash? I need your help to win a belt? I won titles without you. Why are you asking me that?
Who, Anthony Joshua won belts without him?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but Anthony Joshua hasn't looked so hot lately, you know?
He takes it light on bum fighters that he thinks he can beat. Like Ruiz. He thought he was a bum, got trashed. He thought Usyk was trash, got bombed. That's what he does. It's his MO. So if you're going to reach out, it's like Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali telling Mike Tyson, yo, you can't fight. Let me help you train. That's disrespectful. I think that's what Anthony Joshua was definitely going to take that as disrespectful. Why are you asking me that? Don't talk to me like that. That's disrespectful.
Yeah. But
so, hey, you look like you weren't a good fighter against Usyk. Let me help you train and make you better. What? Fuck you. Don't tell me that.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're on board with Anthony Joshua saying, hey, man, don't come at me like that.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think Anthony Joshua will beat Tyson Fury if that were ever to come to fruition.
I don't think anyone's beaten Tyson Fury.
So I think, like, Tyson Fury's a nice guy, man. So he reached out to Deontay Wilder after the fight, wished him a happy birthday. I hope you're doing well. I don't see any bit of mischievous to that. I don't see him, I don't see any connivingness with that.
No, I think it's absolutely genuine that he actually really wants to help Joshua win.
But Anthony Joshua ain't going to give shit,
No, I think that's just, and Anthony, if I'm a competitor, right, I'm fighting, right, and some schmo talks to me and tells me, hey, I can help you train better, and I'm a champion, you're a champion. No, bro, I want to fight you eventually and beat your ass. Like, I don't need your help. Don't talk to me like that. To me, that's disrespectful. I don't want no one's help. If I'm training, I want my coaches to help me and get better, and I want to fight your ass and take your belts from you.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it. Anthony Joshua wants to be in Tyson Fury's shoes, but Anthony Joshua is missing something. I don't know
It just takes it
how focused he is during training camps. You know, and like you said, he is taking people lightly. He took Andy Ruiz lightly, got beat up. He took Alexander Usyk lightly, got upset.
I think the biggest thing was Ruiz is that man was well overweight by a mile.
Yeah.
And you got worked by that guy. He was out of shape, and he said, I'm out of shape, and I still beat your ass.
And here's the scarier thing. Andy Ruiz is in better shape than he's ever been in his life. So if that rematch were to ever come to fruition, I'm pretty
sure. For a trilogy?
No, it's just say Ruiz worked his way back up to fighting Anthony Joshua. Well, Andy Ruiz is a different animal now. He's lost a lot of weight. He's in shape. He doesn't look like the fighter he used to be, and he beat Anthony Joshua at that level when he was
a trilogy then, because they fought twice already.
I thought they only fought once.
No, fought once, took his titles, then
so they're both
again,
1-1.
Beat his ass, right?
Okay. Well, in that case, then it's more than possible that could happen, you know?
Well, Ruiz has to work his way back up.
Well, I also heard Deontay Wilder may fight Andy Ruiz. So there's a lot of...
Oh, God have mercy.
A lot of possibilities, you know, in boxing. But what we're talking about is Dylan White versus Otto Wallen this Saturday, live in the UK. Who do you got to win that fight, man? Who do you think is going to be the mandatory challenger for Tyson Fury?
If I had to pick, probably Wallen.
You think Wallen?
Yeah, he's good, man. He's number 4, I believe, or 5. He's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so I'm not to say rankings is what it says all, but I just think he's just a better boxer.
I think it will be Dylan. See, it's difficult because Dylan White returns to the ring. You know, he's avenged his previous defeat against Alexander Povetkin. No, don't let me butcher that guy's name. And he has the interim heavyweight WBC, you know, belt, as they say right now. So all he needs to really do to capture that mandatory challenge is to beat Otto Wallen. Otto Wallen's 21-1, has only lost one time. And the reality is I think it's going to be Otto Wallen. I think Otto Wallen could definitely... I definitely think he could be the next challenger to fight Tyson Fury.
I agree.
However, he has lost against Tyson Fury in the past, back in 2019. You know, but that was a unanimous decision, you know. Could he possibly fight him again and beat Tyson Fury? No, I don't fucking think so, you know.
No.
I don't think anybody's beating Tyson Fury. There's nobody coming up in the ranks. I just don't see it, man. I mean, it's not possible that somebody's going to beat Tyson Fury unless Tyson Fury beats himself again and, you know, goes on a depression. You know,
I think the only person that had the best chance of beating Tyson Fury is Deontay Wilder because he has that puncher's chance. He's a knockout machine.
Yeah.
He had him 2 times in that one fight, man. Back-to-back 4-round, boom, boom. But I don't know. I just don't think anyone in that division is going to beat Tyson Fury at any point in time.
Now, I think there are opportunities possibly because if you've noticed in the Deontay Wilder fight, he's been getting hit more. And he's been getting there has been some scary moments when it comes to Tyson Fury. You know, he has almost, you know, gotten knocked out a few times against Deontay Wilder. But it seems like this dude just is like a freaking zombie. He just comes back and it's like he gets dropped, he gets up, and he's like, oh, I'm good. Like, you know?
The thing that's so impressive about Tyson Fury when he gets back up is that he has no jelly legs. And he just comes back normal. It's just weird. I think he just lays on the canvas for a little bit, make sure he's all right, then he stands up, then he has an extra couple more seconds when he stands up because the ref's talking to him, and then he just gets back to normal. It's just impressive seeing him get back on his feet so convincingly like that. No jelly legs at all.
Yeah, I mean, boxing's got some life in it, man. I'm telling you, boxing has some life with Kayla Canelo Alvarez fighting Caliplant next weekend. And then you've got the mandatory challenger this Saturday for whoever could possibly face Tyson Fury. Look, these next couple months, and I'll say it time and time again because I'm just so fucking pumped. These next fights coming up, man. These next couple months, I'm so freaking pumped for, man. Please, if you're a casual, focus on these fights coming up, and it will change you to hardcore status.
Well, it's the next week's fight, too. The next card.
Yeah, UFC 268 next week.
That one is dynamite.
It is dynamite. Don't sleep on these cards, people. Do not sleep on these cards. I'm telling you, if you're an ESPN Plus subscriber, you're going to get UFC 267 for free. And, you know, that will, I think if you're a casual, that will embrace yourself for more mixed martial arts. And I think that's Dana White's plan, to get more people to buy the Madison Square Garden card next week, you know?
Yeah, that card is, I think that card tops everyone's cards so far.
Yeah, I mean,
that was just incredible.
I would buy the fight just strictly on Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Justin Gaethje.
I'm more Usman Kobe.
I like that fight too.
That
I mean,
one has some
each
hatred.
any one of those fights is one pay-per-view
the thing is
status.
with Kobe and Usman, they hate each other, and they're very public about it too. They're like, fuck him. Fuck that bitch. And all that.
They're all getting personal because even Justin Gaethje came out and was like, look, Michael Chandler, you take me to the ground. You're a little bitch. Stand with me, bro. Why you got to take me to the ground? Stand with me. Let's bang. Let's throw fists. Let's see who's the real striker. You know, we already know we both have great wrestling game. But let's see. There's a lot of bad blood. And then Rose Namajunas. I love watching Rose Namajunas fight, man.
Yeah.
I was so proud of her for winning that belt. And I really hope, you know, she wins against Weili Zhang. I mean, we're going to have to see, you know.
It's a waiting game.
It's a waiting game. But if you are watching us live on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Yes, I'm talking about you guys. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell, all notifications. Please become a supporter of this podcast. We are growing. We are new, but we are growing, and we will bring you the finest content of all combat sports around the world. And that's it. And if you're at work, don't forget, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. You don't have to stream the video and get in trouble by your boss. You can put your headphones on and listen to the podcast through Apple Podcasts. We're also on Spotify. We're on Facebook Live right now as well. And, you know, we're all over, man. Let's just say that. You can find us, Combat Misfits, pretty much on any streaming platform there is. I want to give a shout out to my Dever Sports family. We got the Gobbler Inc. They'll be live this weekend covering the Eagles game against the Lions, you know, because we're an Eastern Conference family over here, you know. But we got the Flyers action they'll be covering. We got the Sixers as well. I mean, look, we don't really have that much of a chance with any of our teams right now, but I'm hoping things will change. And then we also have Breakfast and Body Slams tomorrow, 9:05, live. Check them out. They will be covering all the AEW action, the WWE action, as well as independent, you know, wrestling promotions as well. They're very informative, and they'll bring you the best content, in my opinion, for all wrestling around the area. And then we've got the Sullivan Squad. They are phenomenal at covering and reviewing all Eagles action as well as Sixers. And we also have the Old School show on Tuesdays. That is a great show. Yeah. They bring me back into the day to show us everything that I didn't really remember because I was a young gun, you know? Yeah. But I'm learning, brother, you know? And that's what we got on Devereaux Sports family, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of content. We really blend together very well. Chris, you got any thoughts to say before we leave?
No, not really, man. We'll just see you guys another time when we get on.
Subscribe. Don't forget. Thank you. You guys have a good day. For me, Chris, for Vinny Quinn, I hope he has a great happy birthday. We're out.